Ava.
Will Smith.
Will Smith.
At least.
Diddy's baby oil stash. So remember when the feds raised Diddy's place? Well, apart from the weird S rooms and weapons, they also managed to discover 1,000 bottles of baby oil, which raised a lot of red flags. Diddy's attorney, Mark Agnifilo, tried to put the rumors to rest by claiming that it was a harmless purchase. He said, "I can't imagine it's thousands. He has a big house. He buys in bulk. Have you seen what people walk out with from Costco?" But Costco shut down that defense big time. They said that they had no records of selling Diddy baby oil in bulk. TMZ also did a quick search of Costco's website and confirmed that the store doesn't even sell baby oil. They did sell some baby products like hair and cleansing gel, but that was about it. And get this, Sam's Club, another major retailer, didn't have baby oil up for sale as well. Now, figuring out where Diddy got that baby oil is important, but what's even more disturbing is what did he need the baby oil for? Well, it turns out that the baby oil was laced with illegal substances, which Combs would use to make his victims vulnerable. The shocking claims came to light after attorney Tony Busby filed a series of civil lawsuits against Diddy on behalf of his victims. According to one of the lawsuits, Combs particularly fancied the use of the popular rug Rohypnol, or GHB, to commit heinous non-consensual acts of blanks and grape onto countless victims. Combs often would secretly use the rug in an alcoholic beverage served at his parties, typically champagne or lemon drops. Partygoers were forced to consume the alcoholic beverage containing GHB either prior to entering or while at Combs' party. There are also allegations of Combs dousing victims in lotions or similar body oils, also laced with GHB, so that the rug would be absorbed through the victim's skin and make it easier to blank him or her. Just to make things clear, the complaint refers to Rohypnol and GHB as the same thing, but they are both different substances. However, they are both used to committing heinous acts, the kind of acts that Diddy is guilty of. Anyways, apart from Busby's clients, there was also another woman who filed a lawsuit against Diddy, accusing him of some sinister stuff, and her lawyer, Ariel Mitchell Kidd, shared some disturbing details about her experience. She revealed, "My client was raped by Mr. Combs, his bodyguard and friend, who invited my client to his home to set up this whole situation. The details are graphic, and the complaint lays out all of the details. She was finally able to get away after the gruesome attack. And get this, before the attack, Diddy used a knife and squirted a liquid substance that was some type of lubricant or oil on the victim." Now, Mitchell Kidd thinks that the body oil was used to administer GHB and make her client defenseless. And it seems like she was on the right track, because Cassie mentioned the baby oil in her lawsuit as well. According to court documents, Mr. Combs' assistants would help to set up the FOs, including by setting up the hotel suites with baby oil and Astroglide. And during the FO, Mr. Combs would instruct Ms. Ventura to pour excessive amounts of oil over herself. Sounds like Diddy used every trick in the book to traumatize a long list of people. What's worse is that he wasn't the only one swimming in baby oil. There were other celebrities as well. People like Usher and Justin Bieber might have been forced to participate in the freak-offs, but believe it or not, there was a long line of celebrities who dipped into Diddy's baby oil willingly, and that includes the likes of Cuba Gooding Jr. Cuba was first linked to Diddy thanks to Lil Rod's lawsuit. According to court documents, Mr. Jones believes that Mr. Combs was grooming him to pass him off to his friends. This fear became reality when Mr. Combs introduced Mr. Jones to Cuba Gooding Jr. while they were on Mr. Combs' yacht. During the introduction, Mr. Combs suggested that Cuba get to know Mr. Jones better. He then left them alone in a makeshift studio on the yacht. As evidenced by a video, of which screenshots are embedded below, Cuba Gooding Jr. began touching, roping, and fondling Mr. Jones's legs, his upper inner thighs near his groin, the small of his back near his buttocks, and his shoulders. Mr. Jones was extremely uncomfortable and proceeded to lean away from Mr. Gooding Jr. He rejected his advances, and Mr. Gooding Jr. did not stop until Mr. Jones forcibly pushed him away. However, Cuba's been denying the accusations. He's actually pretending that they're out there in the first place.
Well, how do you fully escape it though? Like your name, for example, was mentioned
in the Diddy case.
Which was the most ridiculous thing ever.
Because you barely know
This is the
right?
most ridiculous thing ever. But again, welcome to being a celebrity. Welcome to my world.
But the days of fans taking a celebrity's word are long behind them. So Cuba's gonna have to do better than simply saying, "Welcome to my world." And it's not just him. Fans have been side-eyeing Jamie Foxx as well ever since the Diddy stuff came to light. Jamie Foxx dips into baby oil. The dude was downright desperate to get into Diddy's parties back in the day, and he made no secret of it. To be fair, Jamie was trying to get into the music business, and he thought Diddy was the best guy in the industry. He told Stephen Colbert, "I was trying to get in music at that time, so I would throw parties for a reason. And because Diddy was so famous in music, I had a studio in my house." Once the actor managed to weasel his way into the parties, he took his position behind the camera, and he made no secret of it.
"Could you please come over here? This guy by the name of Sean P. Diddy comes. I need you to come meet him. I need this for my camera." Dr. Roof and Puff at the Beverly Hills Hotel pool dance, doing their thing, right? And you know what they dancing to? Over in the corner, God bless, is Heavy D, Andre Harrell, and they listening to a demo. You know what the demo is? Right. Bum, ba-dum, bum, bum, bum.
Beyonce.
Ba-dum,
That's
bum, bum.
He also boasted about all the curious things he saw happening at Diddy's place.
And then I flip the camera this way. There's Demi Moore and some young dude. I don't know who dude is. So I said, "Puff, who that?" "Oh, that's the young cat, Ashton Kutcher." I said, "Cool." So I asked Demi Moore, I said, "Is it cool if I?" She said, "Sure, whatever." It was probably a wild night.
However, fans think that Jamie had other reasons for wanting to be at those parties like Diddy's baby oil. And what's really disturbing is that despite witnessing all those depraved acts, it didn't seem like Jamie wanted to get out of there. And he's not the only one. Machine Gun Kelly was just as desperate to get into Diddy's parties.
Yesterday, I had smoked something that Puff had gave me, and it was like it was as if I had partied like 3 nights straight. It was like, it was the craziest. I was like, I'm about to go to the airport. I need something that'll knock me out. I mean, it totally did the opposite. I was doing crazy dance moves to the weirdest music for 20 minutes straight, like while he was on the phone, and I was just outside the window looking in while he was looking at me like, "Man, I just wanted someone to go to the airport, just to last me so I can knock out on this flight." And he's like, yeah, I'm having my guy. So he goes down, comes back up with his stuff, and the guy shows Puff, and I was like, no, I'm trying to give him like he said the Snoop Doggy Dog is what he said he's trying to give me. So I was like, oh yeah, for sure. I want, yeah. What is that? What's up with that? Where's that at?
Sounds good. Whatever the hell that is.
I'm like, where's that? So long story short, he finally finds it, and he's like, oh, here you go. He's like, now my guy said take 4 hits and like stop.
All right.
And we didn't. You
just kept going.
So, yeah. And so he was like, come back up in 5 minutes. And I mean, when I tell you I came back up in 5 minutes and like had a result for him, like, you know what I mean? Like if it was.
And then he's on the phone running his empire.
Yeah.
And you're dancing naked outside of his window.
In fact, he was into Diddy's illegal substance habit and made no secret of it.
Because you can't get into the party. It doesn't matter what the fuck's going on in the party. Nothing cool's going on in the party. It's a party. But you can't, for some fucking reason, at his party, you can't get into his party. So now what do you want to do? Get into that man's party and see what the fuck all the hubbub's about. So right now I have a do not enter sign on Machine Gun Kelly, man.
Now MGK's already into weird stuff like drinking his girlfriend. Megan Fox's blood-soaked baby oil and freak-offs sound right up his alley. However, not everyone has been obvious about their efforts to get into Diddy's parties or slip into his private stash of baby oil. There's Drake for one. He's been recorded at Diddy's parties a couple of times.
Let's see. Slap. I like it. Stop. Let's see.
And then there's the fact that he has a literal poster of Diddy up on his wall.
Drake, you got some explaining to do, sir. I seen a picture floating around that involves P. Diddy that's very interesting to me. Why do you have a picture of P. Diddy on your wall? Why do you have a picture of Sean Combs on your wall in your house? So many of your fans trying to convince us that you don't rock with P. Diddy no more. You and P. Diddy been beefing because he slapped you in one of the hotels that they're investigating. But this was after you got slapped at that hotel that they're investigating. P. Diddy been on your wall. for a little while now.
Fans think there's no way Drake was in the dark about Diddy's dark lifestyle, which raises the question, just why did he idolize Diddy? Well, there seems to be one explanation only. He couldn't resist the baby oil stash, and neither could Diddy's BFF, Ashton Kutcher. Back in 2019, Sean Evans had the chance to interview Ashton for The Hot Ones. He tried to get some information out of him about Diddy's infamous exclusive events. Unfortunately for him, Ashton proved to be a closed book. He said he couldn't exactly spill the deets.
Diddy party stories, they're our favorite genre of anecdote, if you have one, yeah.
Wow, okay, I've got a lot I can't tell. So, I can't tell that one either. I mean, I'm like actually cycling through them. There was one moment, so it's not really a party story, but our relationship was really bizarre. So it started over punked, because he was like, yo,
don't punk
you
me.
can't punk me. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you, everybody's on the table. He's like, not me, I'm off the table. And so that started our conversation. We became fast friends, and we used to just hang out and watch football together.
He might not have said anything, but fans got the message loud and clear. Not to mention that Ashton actively helped Diddy organize these parties. There was one at the Beverly Hills back on July 4th, 2009. And if you think that these white parties were above-board celebrations, well then we've got some news for you. According to attorney Tony Busby, some seriously disturbing stuff went down at these events as well.
Most of these events and incidents occurred at parties, typically after parties, or album release parties, New Year's Eve parties, 4th of July parties, something they called a puppy party, the all-white party, although several of these events occurred at auditions.
So maybe Ashton is not as innocent as people think. And it's not just him. There's a long list of celebrities who are guilty of aligning themselves with Diddy, and maybe with time fans, we'll learn about even more names. According to some fans, some people were only guilty of using these parties to hide their weird S lives. One person commented, I think people on that list are people who went to puffy parties for AS hookup, not to engage in S with rugged up people Puff was taking advantage of. Those kinds of S parties are hosted by people, swingers, living in the Hollywood Hills. 2010 saw a lot of that going on. It was around the time thruples and polyamory began to make it into conversation in pop culture. There was this brother I worked with from time to time who would tell me about a female friend of his who would invite him to those parties. He got a lot of invitations from white guys to F their wives, girlfriends while they watched. He didn't go to participate. He went as a safety net for his female friend. He usually would stay in the house and find the room the TV was in and just watch until she came to get him. You say, yeah, sure, but he was for real. Not everybody is a freak. I knew another guy I worked with from time to time that frequented these parties, and he and his lady would go to these parties to participate. Anyone that worked with him knew about it. He liked telling people. The puffy parties where the champagne was spiked with roofies and only given to the women at the party so they could be graped were likely music industry parties with guys in the industry and women who wanted to party with them. I can't see Puff mixing his freak-off crowd with his entertainment industry sex party crowd. Both sets were having blanks, but the freak-offs involved the trafficking and grape. The swingers parties look really bad for all those celebrities and their brands, and could end their careers, but I wouldn't think involved criminal activity except rugs. Still, the question is, just how deep does this ring of predators run? And do you think they'll pay the price as well for mistreating people? Let us know in the comment section below, and make sure to check out other videos on our channel.
Hello everyone, I'm Dr. Ahmadai Shakur. 50 Cent is set to do a documentary about Diddy and all of these allegations against him. Let's get into it. According to page 6, a 50 who's had a decades-long on and off feud with Diddy is training his production house on doing this documentary on the embattled bad boy mogul.
50 Cent has announced that he will be executive producing the documentary on Diddy. Surviving Diddy, too much brother love can cost you.
Okay, so it looks like 50 Cent is not easing up on Diddy anytime soon. And every time we think that he could be easing up on the pressure he is putting on Diddy, he pulls a major move that leaves us confused. Well, this time he is now coming up with a list of rappers with whom Diddy engaged in freak-off sessions. And heads up, the list is longer than you think, because it turns out that your faves have been involved in some seriously freaky stuff with Diddy. Chilly, 50 Cent's documentary is going to be fire, y'all, and I can't wait.
I've never been a bigger fan of 50 Cent. Not only is 50 Cent working on a Diddy documentary, but all the proceeds will benefit SA victims.
50 Cent is on a mission, and once again, he has Diddy in the crosshairs of his relentless trolling spree. 50 is known to be something of a major troll, but it looks like he means serious business when it comes to Diddy, because he has kept his foot on Diddy's neck since several women came out to speak on Diddy's alleged bad behavior and also file lawsuits against him. But 50 Cent isn't just satisfied with the legal drama, because he is now claiming to have the inside scoop on Diddy's secret shenanigans. Cassie's lawsuit introduced us to the wild world of Diddy's beloved pastime, which he referred to as freak-offs. Well, 50 is now going the extra mile to claim that male escorts were not the only men who were present at the freak-offs, because some of your favorite rappers were also there. For some context, Cassie, Diddy's ex, who he dated for about 11 years, spilled the tea in a lawsuit that she filed about a month ago. And girl, Cassie's lawsuit had some serious piping hot tea. Cassie dropped bombshells, accusing Diddy of putting her through a decade-long roller coaster of abuse. According to her, Diddy wasn't just your regular boyfriend. He was more like a puppet master orchestrating a disturbing show. We're talking drugs, physical assaults, and some seriously unsettling activities involving multiple male escorts, all while Diddy watched and enjoyed the scene. Now, the Cassie Diddy situation started back in 2005 when she was just 19, and it finally came crashing down in 2018. Of course, Diddy denied the allegations, but people don't believe him, which isn't surprising given the many allegations that have been made against him. For a couple of weeks now, people have been wondering why the police have never opened an investigation into Diddy. I mean, the things that Cassie said in her lawsuit were so bad, and a lot of it edged into criminal activity. Well, word on the streets is that Diddy has the police in his pocket, and his influence is the reason that he has managed to stay out of legal trouble. Speaking of Cassie's lawsuit against Diddy, it's truly disturbing to say the least, because the allegations that were brought against him are so wild that they almost seem unreal. The court documents went on and on about some really dark stuff, talking about how Cassie was basically a prisoner in the relationship. According to Cassie, she wasn't just in a messed up relationship, she was essentially trafficked by Diddy to act out his wild fantasies, which he referred to as freak-offs. Cassie had no input about the freak-offs, because Diddy forced her to participate in the freak-offs, whether she wanted to or not. Diddy hired male escorts, flew them out, and had them wear masks before engaging in the freak-offs. She also revealed that Diddy would play director during the freak-offs, telling her what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. The venues for these escapades were always some fancy and high-end locations, like the Trump International Hotel in the heart of New York City. Cassie also claimed that Diddy had this weird fascination with watching her get intimate with other guys, and apparently he chose some ritzy locations for his front row seat to the weirdness. You know, because as a billionaire, he had to have the best of the best even for his freak-offs. According to the lawsuit, the first time, Mr. Combs hired a man and brought the man to his home in Los Angeles. The man, Mr. Combs, and Ms. Ventura wore masquerade masks and ingested drugs. Mr. Combs directed Ms. Ventura to perform intimate acts with this man while Mr. Combs watched them. He got off to it while he directed Ms. Ventura and the man to do specific intimate acts. The entire encounter lasted multiple days. Mr. Combs began to call the arrangement a freak-off, or FO. He would repeatedly tell Ms. Ventura at random moments that he wanted an FO, and Ms. Ventura was eventually expected to facilitate the location and the hiring of male escorts. But that's not all, because Diddy also used to force her to use drugs before the freak-offs. She said, Mr. Combs always supplied Ms. Ventura and the escort with copious amounts of drugs before and during the FOs. Ms. Ventura was given ecstasy, cocaine, GHB, ketamine, marijuana, and alcohol in excessive amounts during FOs, which allowed her to disassociate during these horrific encounters. It became commonplace to get IV fluids in the days after an FO to recover from the excessive substances pushed upon her. Ms. Ventura was required to dress up in lingerie for an FO, and Mr. Combs insisted she wear white nail polish to contrast her nails with the skin of the black men he hired to be intimate with her. She also revealed that he did so many things to keep her under his control, like forcing her to carry his gun in her purse for no other reason than because he could. The document said, on at least 2 occasions, Mr. Combs demanded that Ms. Ventura hold Mr. Combs's gun in her purse. Ms. Ventura had no familiarity with guns and was petrified that the firearm would accidentally go off in her purse. There was no clear reason why Mr. Combs required her to hold his guns, except to reinforce to his young girlfriend that he was violent, powerful, and dangerous. This was weird, but according to 50 Cent, Cassie left out a lot of things in the lawsuit, like the fact that Diddy had other men in the freak-offs. Now, We don't know for sure if the freak-offs with Cassie were the same freak-offs that Diddy had with the rappers, but that didn't stop 50 from spilling even more tea, and he dragged Jay-Z into it. Ever since the bombshell news about Cassie suing Diddy dropped, 50 Cent has been on a mission to spill all the messy details, and recently he took it up a notch by revealing Jay-Z's alleged involvement in Diddy's controversial escapades. Now, we all know Diddy and Jay-Z are tighter than tight. I mean, Diddy even revealed that only his mom and Jay-Z get the privilege of calling him by his first name, Sean.
There's only one person. Oh, go on. And I call him Sean. That's Jay-Z. We call each other Sean. Okay. Yeah. Nobody else could call me Sean. He's the only person who's Sean approved. There's not a single person that outside of family that should be outside of my mother. Okay, just they should be calling me. Yeah, they should be calling me Sean.
They've got this strong bond, but now 50 Cent is suggesting that maybe, just maybe, there's more to Diddy and Jay-Z's connection than what meets the eye. Yeah, he's hinting that their bromance might have some shady undertones. It's not surprising to see why 50 Cent would drag Jay-Z into this, because if there is one person that he seems to have some major feud with outside of Diddy, it's Jay-Z, and they've had their fair share of beef spanning over 2 decades. There was a time when 50 straight up accused Jay of buying his way to the top, arguing that there's no real competition because Jay-Z is just using his deep pockets to stay ahead. Also, 50 has spoken about how he finds it all kinds of strange that Jay-Z likes to refer to himself as Jesus. Back in a 2009 Rolling Stone interview, 50 Cent spilled the beans about Jay's king complex, practically claiming to be the Messiah. He said he has a king complex, he thinks he's effing Jesus. You know what I mean? This Jehovah-ish. I'm just watching him. He said something one time I didn't like, those little things, subliminal things. For me, that's the punk way to do things. To top it off, 50 seemed to throw some shade at Jay, accusing him of betraying those close to him, like the former Rockefeller artist Beanie Siegel. According to 50, Jay wasn't exactly looking out for the team. He was more about whatever it took to line his own pockets. It's not just 50 Cent who is saying this. There are a whole lot of people who think Jay-Z might have left a trail of destruction on his way to the top. Uncle Ron, who claims to be Beyoncé's bodyguard, spilled the tea, claiming that Jay-Z and Beyoncé have been less than gentle with those who dared to speak out against them. According to Uncle Ron, Jay-Z's success story involves sidelining folks who played a part in his come-up, like Biggie, Beanie Siegel, and Freeway.
Beyonce and Jay-Z will do anything to destroy anyone who speaks out against them. Okay, I get the threats, but you have to remember one thing. I know your deepest secrets. I know so much about you and what you've done. I know so much on how you got where you are, how you stepped on many people.
But hold up, because there's more to this situation, because Jaguar Wright also had some things to say about Diddy and Jay-Z. She hinted at some shady stuff happening in Jay-Z's inner circle, pointing out figures like Big L, implying that their stories ended in tragedy because F Jay-Z. This whole situation kind of mirrors the rumors surrounding Diddy, and it's like deja vu because both Jay-Z and Diddy seem to have this pattern where their associates either meet ultimately ends or mysteriously fade away from the limelight.
The first time I ever saw Jay-Z or even heard him spit a rhyme was at an MC battle, street battle in New York. But he didn't show up as Jay-Z. He didn't show up as the hottest rapper on the street. He showed up as the nigga that was with Big L.
Rest
For
in
those
peace.
of you.
Rest in peace, Big L.
Rest in peace, Big L. That was the
Dopest. One of the
sensei.
dopest. Yes.
Big L was who put Jay-Z on.
Without question.
And then Big L died, and then the next thing you know, Jay-Z.
Then we also have Kanye West and the wild secrets that he exposed about some powerhouses in the industry, including Diddy and Jay-Z. Kanye claimed that Diddy and Jay-Z are puppets in the grand scheme of Hollywood elites. And if you're wondering why Kanye was spilling the tea so confidently, he claimed that it's because, unlike him, he never unalived anyone for the Hollywood elites or did some shady stuff for them, and that's why they have nothing to hold over his head. Kanye is yet another person to link Jay-Z and Diddy. But hold on, because it gets even deeper than that. Jaguar Wright wasn't done talking about Diddy and Jay-Z's weird relationship because she talked about some shady situations involving both men and had people questioning the dynamic between the two men after she hinted that they were involved in some intimate actions, if you know what I mean.
Doing songs with Biggie and building a working, camaraderie with Honeycombs. And aka Diddy. And
Why do you give him the honeycombs? Why do you give him honeycombs?
because he smacks so sweet. That fucking sodomite. Anyway,
Okay, so back to 50 Cent. According to reports, 50 Cent has been talking about how Diddy is not the only one who has shady dealings in the industry because Jay-Z has managed to get away with a crazy amount of stuff that should have gotten him canceled. 50 pointed out how weird it was that Jay-Z was messing around with Foxy Brown when Foxy was only 14 and Jay-Z was well in his 20s at the time, and he called Jay-Z out for allegedly grooming Foxy until she landed in his bed. Then there's Aaliyah, who, according to 50, was also groomed by Jay-Z's friend R. Kelly. And let's not forget Jay-Z's admission that he knew Beyoncé for a decade, implying they might have crossed paths when Queen Bey was 15 or 16. But the drama doesn't stop there. Conspiracy theories have long swirled around Jay-Z's potential involvement in Aaliyah's tragic death after she reportedly turned down his advances. Dame Dash even claimed Jay-Z was aware of R. Kelly's illegal marriage to Aaliyah at 15 but continued to associate with him. Aaliyah unfortunately passed away in a plane crash in 2001, and a couple of months later, Jay-Z went public with Beyoncé. Now here's where it gets even more intense. Rumors are flying about alleged all-male freak-offs involving Jay-Z and Diddy. In an interview, Diddy's bodyguard, Gene Deal, revealed that Diddy was an active participant in the freak-off, not just a spectator like Cassie's lawsuit made him out to be.
She say that, in this lawsuit that, Diddy, he enjoyed watching her get smashed by BBCs. So, what you think about that?
Do you think she was the only one getting banged by him? Do you think this man had this woman search for prostitutes online just for them to have sex with her?
50 Cent also shared a video of him on stage with Diddy and Jay-Z, capturing the moment Diddy playfully slapped Jay-Z's butt. Yeah, that's just all shades of creepy, and it kind of makes us wonder what Jay-Z and Diddy might be getting up to behind closed doors. According to 50 Cent, there is more going on between Jay-Z and Diddy than we know, including alleged freak-off sessions. 50 claims that when Diddy slapped Jay-Z, he had forgotten himself and didn't even remember that they were on stage in front of thousands of people. But as it turns out, Jay-Z is not the only superstar involved, because a couple more of your faves were doing the same thing, including Will Smith. Diddy and Will Smith have been great friends for a couple of years now, and according to 50 Cent, some of the activities they were involved in were not exactly friendly because they crossed over into the freaky zone, if you catch my drift. Like Diddy, rumors of Will Smith being on the DL have been around for a hot minute, and Alexis Arquette even revealed that Will's first marriage to Cherie Zampino ended because Cherie caught him in bed with a man. Alexis wrote, "When Jada comes out as gay and her beard husband admits his first marriage ended when she walked into him, servicing his sugar daddy Benny Medina, then I will listen to them." She being his first wife, paid off, silent. Alexis wasn't the last person who accused Will of being on the DL, because Trisha Paytas came all out to accuse him of SA when she claimed that Will allegedly forced her male dancers to sleep with him.
How about worry about your cheating husband my male dancers, when they didn't want to? How about talk about that?
Diddy, on the other hand, has been the subject of so much talk from men in the industry about him trying to force them into freak-off situations. Gene spilled the tea on Diddy's escapades with men.
And he said, "Yo, Gene, watch the door, don't let nobody come through here." And I said, I watched the door. If I watched the door and him and a man ran out naked, and I said that, ain't nobody told me that. I saw that myself.
Rapper Exhibit also revealed that Diddy once took him to a gay bar, and he was so shook that he snuck out of the bar and ran home.
We go down and get a drink. We sitting there bobbing to the music, and then she point over the corner. It's two dudes kissing. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, the fuck is this? You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay. Then it's girls in the club too. And then she pointed another direction. It's another dude over there like.
The Game also threw shade at Diddy when he hinted that Diddy uses women to hide his real sexuality. He hinted that Diddy was a DL rapper who tries to hide his sexuality by being a womanizer or having multiple kids with different baby mamas. Oh, and let's not even get started on 50 Cent and how he has been keeping his foot on Diddy's neck, steadily exposing Diddy over the years. There was a time he shaded Diddy on IG and said, "Sorry, I can no longer help you guys. Soon you will all be gay and happy. You are all now left under the leadership ownership of Putty Daddy. Report to the nearest rainbow. There's also the time he went on The Breakfast Club and said that Diddy was fruity.
When you do it, he says things, he doesn't even know what he's saying is like fruity.
50 Cent also claimed that Diddy once tried to take him shopping and that he found it to be really weird.
So yo, when we gonna get the chance to, to kick it, like we can just hang out. We gotta kick it. This is Paul. Okay. He telling me we gotta kick it. He's like, yo, why don't we like go shopping or something? I mean, like I pay for it. And I was like, this just saying.
If there's one person who keeps his foot right on Diddy's neck, it's 50 Cent, and he has never shied away from speaking on Diddy and his activities. 50 even talked about how Diddy made videos of Cassie during the freak-offs and then shipped the videos around to other people in the industry, even 50 Cent.
The nigga fuck, but he called, we should kick it on telephone and shit, after the main shit.
Right.
And the nigga be like, matter of fact, they sent me the girl pictures, like pictures of this girl, like, not the shit that y'all saw. Worse, way worse.
Wow. Oh, you killing me up.
Like penetration pictures and
Nah, come on, man. Come on, Phil.
50 Cent claimed that he reached out to Diddy to let him know that a bad video of Cassie was making its rounds and asked Diddy to handle it, but Diddy wasn't exactly bothered by it. 50 also claimed that from Diddy's response, he could tell that Diddy was the one who had been sending the videos around.
I really kind of felt like those photographs were not happening because of Cassie. I felt like they was happening because of Puffy.
Right. Oh, wow.
You know what I'm saying? Because when a girl moves from a man and she upgrades, niggas be insecure, you know what I'm saying?
If Diddy sent the video to 50 Cent, who he was beefing with, can you imagine who else would have seen the videos? Yeah, that's messed up big time. Jaguar Wright also revealed another rapper who Diddy forced into freak-offs, and she name-dropped Meek Mill.
Yeah.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house fucking screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills. Bashir Gray. Left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
50 also claimed that Diddy also allegedly engaged in some freak-offs with Harv Peer, who was once the president of Bad Boy Records. Yeah, this one isn't so shocking, especially because Harv was named as one of the co-defenders in Diddy's 4th lawsuit when an anonymous woman, Jane Doe, claimed that the two men, in addition to a third, unnamed man, allegedly SA'd her, and then they forced her into a freak-off. The document said, when she was just a teenager, Ms. Doe met Mr. Pierre and the third assailant in a lounge in the Detroit, Michigan area. While at the lounge, Mr. Pierre insisted that he was best friends with Mr. Combs and even called Mr. Combs with Ms. Doe. Mr. Combs convinced Ms. Doe, who was half his age at the time, to accompany Mr. Pierre and the third assailant on a private jet to come to his studio in New York City. Before they left for the private jet, Mr. Pierre smoked crack cocaine in a bathroom at the lounge, in which he also SA'd Ms. Doe by forcing her to give him oral action. The documents went on to say that, on the evening in question, Ms. Doe was with friends in a lounge when she was approached by who she later learned was Mr. Pierre. Mr. Pierre was with his own friends, including the third assailant. Mr. Pierre, the third assailant, and their friends were dressed in suits. Mr. Pierre repeatedly complimented Ms. Doe's appearance, saying that she was hot, among other things. He then began talking about his self-described best friend and brother, Mr. Combs. Specifically, Mr. Pierre continually stated that Mr. Combs would love to meet Ms. Mr. Pierre even called Mr. Combs and put Ms. Doe on the line. Mr. Combs told Ms. Doe that he would love to meet her and that she should accompany Mr. Pierre to New York City in a private jet. The lawsuit then claimed that Diddy asked Harv to bring Jane over to New York in the private jet, after which things quickly got very bad for Jane Doe. E-documents went on to say that Mr. Pierre, third assailant, and another gentleman then escorted the high schooler to a private jet which flew them to Teterboro, New Jersey. There were SUVs awaiting the group at Teterboro, and the four of them were driven to Daddy's House Recording Studio, a studio famously owned and operated by Mr. Combs and Bad Boy. While at the studio, Mr. Combs and his associates, including Mr. Pierre, plied Ms. Doe with substances. As the night wore on, the 17-year-old Ms. Doe became more and more inebriated, eventually to the point that she could not possibly have consented to having intimacy with anyone, much less someone twice her age. It continued. While at the studio, Ms. Doe was SA'd by Mr. Combs, the third assailant, and Mr. Pierre, in that order. While Mr. Combs was SAing Ms. Doe, he complained that he could not get off unless she pinched his nipples as hard as she could. Mr. Combs then watched on as third assailant, whom Ms. Doe had not even realized had begun, essayed Ms. Doe as she told him to stop. After third assailant was finished, Mr. Pierre took his turn and then forced her to give him oral action, during which Ms. Doe was choking and struggling to breathe. The lawsuit also said, when Mr. Pierre finished, he left Ms. Doe in the bathroom alone. Ms. Doe fell into the fetal position and lay on the floor. Her privates were in pain. Finally, after a period of time, Ms. Doe regained her bearings. However, she could barely stand up and had to be helped to walk out of the building and back into a car. She was taken back to an airport and flown back to Michigan. However, she has very limited recollection of her transport home and only remembers being in her car sometime early in the morning. That was not the first time that Harvey was accused of allegedly SAing a woman, because he was sued for allegedly SAing an employee of Bad Boy Records back when he was the president of the label. According to reports, the lawsuit filed in New York Supreme Court accuses Harv Pierre, a former president of Bad Boy Entertainment and Bad Boy Records, of engaging in a year-long pattern of grooming the unnamed assistant, leading to SH of plaintiff and SA from approximately 2016 to 2017. Pierre SA'd plaintiff on multiple occasions in New York City and other locations throughout the country. However, a representative of the company released a statement saying, "The allegations are from many years ago that were never brought to the attention of the company. Neither the plaintiff nor the executive are current employees of the company. We are now investigating the allegations, and our top priority is the safety and well-being of our employees." But according to 50 Cent, that wasn't the last time that Diddy and Harvey Pierre were involved in freak-off sessions, because it was allegedly something that they liked to do regularly with each other and with other people.